Politicians are gearing up for the 2016 election, and Republicans are changing their tune on one very specific issue, and that's the issue of contraceptives. It turns out that a number of very conservative lawmakers are all of a sudden in favor of legalizing the pill as an over-the-counter medication. So, of course, if you want to get birth control pills, you have to go to a doctor, you need to get a prescription, and that's how you obtain it. But now people like Governor Bobby Jindal are saying, well, wait a minute, maybe we should listen to, OBGYNs, and maybe we should make it available over the counter. It's kind of amazing. So let me just quickly read you his quote. He said, "I would generally follow the lead of associations like the College of OBGYNs. We all too often have politicians become experts in things they know nothing about."
Huh, really?
Interesting.
Wait till you see how the story ends. So you read the first part of the story, and every person who's knowledgeable about politics thinks, all right, where's the hook? It's going to drop at some point, right? Like, there's no way that a Republican is just reasonable on reproductive issues. It's not possible. Now, you think, okay, then you're biased because that's what they're doing, right? Okay, so it's part of a deal, okay? So I'll give you that, which, by the way, we should have anyway. And a lot of people might not realize, they think like the past framing on it was, of course you should go to a doctor because that's a serious and important issue in order to get birth control. And a lot of people, it does make sense for you to go to a doctor. The reason to do it over the counter is because a lot of people don't have insurance. So they can't afford it. And then what happens? And then they get pregnant, and then they get abortions. Or they have the baby, and then that becomes another kind of issue. So we want to prevent those issues. That's why you make it over the counter. So if you agree with us on that, great. Let's shake on it and let's move on. But they say, no, we will agree with you on that, which is natural and obvious and logical, but only if in return you give us certain things. Oh, here we go. Okay. So what do they want in return? Get rid of all Plan B. So Plan B right now is available over the counter. There are no age restrictions. There were age restrictions before, and Republicans don't like that. Specifically, conservatives don't like that because they see that as an abortion drug, which it's not. It's not. Yeah. It's not technically. It's not scientifically. But they don't really care about science. We have declared it. What did Jesus say? Well, Plan B in 2014, the year after me. There will be a thing called Plan B, and you can arbitrarily call it abortion when it's clearly not, right? So they say, okay, now part of this deal is we not only don't make it over the counter, but we get rid of Plan B entirely. Another part of the deal is now for all of these birth control pills, you have to be 18. Now, but wait a minute. Now, look, here's the thing. Do I want my 16-year-old daughter having sex? Maybe not, right? But do I want her getting pregnant while she's having sex? Definitely not, right? And so there's a reason why we make it available to people under 18, because whether we like it or not, they're having sex. It's better that they don't get pregnant while having sex.
Okay, so I actually disagree with making it available over the counter. I understand the reasoning of wanting to make it available over the counter, which is why organizations like Planned Parenthood are so critical and so important, because if you don't have access to insurance, you can go to a clinic or you can go to Planned Parenthood, you can see a doctor, and they will prescribe it to you, and I feel a little more comfortable doing it that way. Birth control is an important thing to have available to people, but at the same time, I hate when people act as though it is the most harmless, benign thing that you can put in your body. It's not. For some people, it has some serious consequences. I've tried 5 different kinds of birth control pills. Every single one of them has made me suicidal. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
So, I did that under a doctor's care, okay? If I didn't understand what was going on with my body and I kept taking it, who knows what would have happened. But I remember when we first started working for Current, that was like the last time I tried it. And life was freaking good. Everything's great, family's great, love life's great, work is great. And I would have to go into the bathroom for no reason at all and literally cry for like 30 minutes, and I didn't understand why.
Because it's messing with your hormones,
yes. So it's not a joke.
So my point is that debate is a perfectly legitimate one, and you're balancing between some people have these reactions they really should talk to a doctor about, and other people might not have access to that if they need to go to a doctor, right? So that's a great debate, and if Republicans want to join on one side of that debate, fantastic, no problem. But I'm not going to give you all these other things in return, right? And so, by the way, we're not even done. The third concession is they also want to get rid of Obamacare. Because in this case, Obamacare says that your birth control should be free, right? As part of your insurance, you're paying for the insurance. It's not like it's free out of nowhere, right? And they say, no. We want to make sure that they can charge you extra for that and that it shouldn't be free, et cetera.
Yeah.
So it's like going to a negotiating table and being like, hey, look, I got $100. And a Republican comes and says, you know what? You like this proposal? Anna doesn't like it. Let's say I like it. Okay, I'm going to give you that proposal. That's an extra $10.
Right.
Oh, okay, great. Now give me $40 back.
Yeah, I know. But Republicans are notoriously good at having Democrats cave to what they want, having Democrats, do these concessions. So I don't blame them for trying to do it. But let's say the concessions didn't exist and it was, hey, you know what? We realize we've changed our position on this. Birth control should be available over the counter. Do you think that it helps or hurts Republicans in 2016? Because I actually think that it would help them, considering the number of women that rely on birth control and how disastrous their attack on birth control was during the last election.
No, I think it would help them. And it's super simple. It's not that big a deal. It's not something that the religious right goes mental over or anything like that. And they shouldn't attach extra conditions to it if they were smart. Then they can go around and be like, we're the ones who wanted to make it over the counter. We're the good guys here. We're pro-women's rights. And it has no downsides, but of course, they can't bring themselves to it. So instead, they want 18 different concessions that they're not going to get.